the bell. No sweat, now I'm feeling swell. Gee golly, it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna burn my troubles away. I'm going nuclear, light up the town. The walls that hold me, I'm melting down. I'm rising up like a mushroom cloud. I'm going nuclear, light up this town. That's right.
So last we left this adventure, the party had actually just kind of got introduced, so let's start the season like we usually do, where everyone goes around, say your name and your character, and so people can attach those sounds together. Sounds is not the word I probably wanted to use. Voices.
Sounds.
No, don't make sounds.
Sounds.
That's not helpful. Please don't make sounds. All right, I'll start. I'm Austin Yorsky. I'm the Dungeon Master, which means I'm the narrator, and I play all the minor characters, and I do boring rule shit that everyone ignores and gets edited out anyway. I'm going to pass it on now to Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura. I play Vindrass, who is a Thri-kreen, which is basically a mantis person. I'm a cleric. I do all sorts of healy magic. And I'm going to throw it over to Comrade in a second, because my character is pretty sure Comrade's character is the reason she has magical healy powers, and she's kind of in a sex cult with him. Comrade, tell us about you and your character.
My name is Conrad Zimmerman, and I'll be playing Brother Khorton, who is a Mull, which is a half-dwarf, half-human class, or race, I guess, race from Dungeons & Dragons Dark Sun Edgelord Fest.
You can tell he really respects the source material.
I do. Brother Khorton is a bard who is developing a sex cult in order to protect himself and perhaps one day liberate his fellow slaves from whom he has fled. And then I guess I'll throw it to Lauren. We'll just
Me?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lauren Morgan. I play Lola Beans, the kobold. Flavor of kobold is gecko. Ranger, and I have a giant salty porcupine named Stuart. That's all you need to know. Oh, Chris, I have to throw it back. Chris!
Hello, my name is Mikhail. Chris cannot be here to introduce character, but he is playing Sabrina Wolfram the White Wolf, a Genasi sorcerer. Hopefully he shows up. I will be in background, monitoring everything.
Wait, no, I want to do Russian with Chris.
This is so helpful for all those people who have to associate Chris's name with a voice, isn't it?
Yep.
It's absolutely helpful. Every week, different voice.
So fuck you to new listeners, I guess is the point.
I guess what I've said, I guess my takeaway is I'm really looking forward to week 30.
Mikhail may come back eventually. I mean, you circle around. I'm not Mel Blanc.
So the last episode ended with Sabrina Wolfram springing the rest of the player characters from the locker room that was their dungeon cell, and you are now making your way through the tunnels underneath the God King Stadium. Through the dark, you don't know where you're going. Why don't actually we start this episode with survival rolls to navigate the bowels of the stadium. Update, I can now access Roll20, so that's good.
Oh, wow.
We can't lie to you and tell you we got a bunch of crits this week.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't have told you and then see if you tried to get away with lying. That would have been great.
I'm still going to try to get away with lying.
Oh, well, I got a 34 on survival.
Oh, God, of course Khorton botches.
Okay,
Oh, Lord.
Well, I have a -1, but I crit.
I got a 14.
10. I got in the middle of the road.
Okay, so we have a crit, a botch, and 2 successes, which is 3 successes, which means the party succeeds, but there is going to be a funny consequence for Khorton, who also got blackjacked in the arena. So you're having a real bad day, buddy. And you got nailed by an abalone shell in the face. It's just a humiliation conga for our sexy friend.
Are we doing season 6 again? Is that just what's happening?
Yeah, you're going to end up with no scalp pretty soon.
Yeah.
So here's what's going to happen. Why don't the party talk, get familiar, because you just ran into somebody new, and in the middle of this conversation, I'm going to interrupt with a consequence. Maybe I shouldn't have told you, because now you're expecting it, but just get in there, forget I said that, and start getting familiar.
Small child, What are you doing in the murder, everyone murder each other pit?
My name is the White Wolf, not small child.
Okay, I'm very sorry. The White Wolf?
Yes?
Why are you in the murder pit? With where everyone gets murdered? What you doing in the murder pit?
Well, I was in the walls of the murder pit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, why are you at the murder pit? Like, were you gonna get sent out to do murders?
No, I'm trying to get out of here for reasons, as her eyes are suspiciously darting about.
See, reasons is what I'm trying to... It's what I'm trying to circle in on. What are the reasons?
I mean, I reckon, as a royal, she can just come down here whenever she wants.
Who said I was a royal?
Yeah, do we want to have that in character? Because there's no reason for Lola to know that right now.
Oh, no, there's a ton of reasons to know.
She looks very fancy, right?
She acts,
She acts like a royal.
I think Lauren should ask to roll insight first, is what I think she...
I rolled a 19.
That's pretty
On
insightful.
insight to know she's a royal or not. Because I can't just assume things. But I love to.
So, it should be fairly obvious that she's a royal based off the fact that, one, she's dressed like a Disney princess. Two, she looks very similar to the God King, at least in terms of being a genasi and having some similar traits. But also, if you look at like her, I guess, belt, you'll notice that there's a crown. She has a dagger on her belt that has like the insignia of the royal family on it. So
She's not being subtle then.
it's not a good disguise. She thinks she's very subtle. She's not.
I will say, as far as family resemblance goes, I actually did map Sabrina's family out. And so last episode I talked about how the genasi like represent the elements, and there's 6 elements in Dungeons and Dragons and the different combinations. So salt is a combination of water and negative, which are 2 elements in Dungeons and Dragons. Mm-hmm. And ice is a combination of water and air. So the family resemblance is they both have like the water gene, as it were. Obviously, this isn't how real genetics work, but in Dungeons and Dragons, like you would have inherited your father's water gene, because that's how the elemental mixing works.
Yeah. I'm a waterbender. The best book of Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I've been told.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, we cannot do that.
Hold on. Talking about things making people cry. Tales of Bossing Say.
Oh my...
Nobody.
There is no war in Bossing Say.
There is no war in Bossing
We can't do this. I'm in the room with the Korra defender. She's gonna jump on the mic.
Oh my god, I forgot. Tell her she's stupid and wrong.
Lauren says you're stupid and wrong.
She also hasn't even finished the whole of Avatar yet.
So yeah, I guess with this, okay, you're also a ranger, which have very high wisdom, so it makes sense that you would look at Sabrina. You see this, all the similarities, you see the family crest and so forth, and you jump to this. So if you want to continue that scene, like I hadn't interrupted you, go ahead.
Well, howdy.
Nope.
Yeah, Sabrina was vigorously denying being royalty, I think.
But you'll sure look like one, little lady.
I just have that kind of look, you know? I'm actually the White Wolf. A brave adventurer.
What about your ensemble? Did you steal that? I like to steal, it's okay.
This is what adventurers wear.
Oh, no, it did not.
I hate to tell you this, but if you go out adventuring like that, you are going to stick out like a sore thumb.
If you're going to try to leave this place, they're going to come after you.
As a country bumpkin, would it make sense for me to have overalls in my bag that I could give to the tiny baby because they're the same size?
Khorton starts taking his cloak off.
Oh, no!
I would like to cast a spell.
Please.
I would like to cast Minor Illusion to give myself a hat. And thus, I am perfectly disguised.
What kind of hat?
A gigantic blue furry one.
That doesn't mean anything. Does it have a brim? Does it have no brim? What kind of hat?
What about Ushanka? How about that? How about it's an Ushanka?
That guy.
But
Yeah.
it's blue. So technically, blue furry hat.
So, here's my advice to you. if you don't cover up some of the very obvious tells that you're royalty, the second you go off on this adventure that it seems like you're probably not meant to be going on, you're going to have everyone who sees you go, oh, you're that royal who's gone missing. You're going to get tracked down in minutes. I want to say minutes.
Well, if I was a royal, I would just order them to not do that, and then they would have to. Besides, who are you?
Not a royal. That's who I am.
Is that your full name?
Yes, first name Nota, second name Royal.
Well then. Nata, I suppose we'll have to agree to disagree. I thought I was the leader, so shouldn't I make the decisions?
Okay, you can make all the decisions, and you know, we'll keep going by our pseudonyms. You can keep being the White Wolf, and I'll keep being Nota.
This seems irresponsible at best.
Until the wolf showed up, we were just kind of stuck in that room, so I'm not gonna say no to the help.
Sabrina is on top of the porcupine, just muttering to herself, yeah, leader.
So Sabrina, you're up on the porcupine. You're rubbing your hands together like Birdman in that meme. And in the distance, up ahead of you in the tunnels, you hear a clank of metal on linoleum. It's dark in here. Can you make a perception check? That is what
Metal?
you fucking assholes.
You're a fucking asshole. Get out of here.
Bye.
I rolled a 17 for perception.
12.
So the party actually fails this check. You hear something clank up in the corridor ahead of you, but there's nowhere to turn. And you know going back will just take you to the locker room, which is no bueno. So you can't really you don't really have any other options. Maybe if you had succeeded, you would see a door to jump through or something, like a fork to hide in, but you do not. And so the metal sound happens again, closer this time, and you see a humanoid shape approaching you. I say humanoid, 2 arms, 2 legs, torso, head, of course, but the head is not any shape you would enjoy seeing. Its head is a giant abalone.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Because this is the executioner from the stadium who is now down here with you carrying his giant axe.
Wonderful.
I would like to cast a spell.
You may.
I would like to cast sleep.
Oh dear. All right, read sleep for the audience.
Okay, so with sleep, you basically roll a number of dice, and if the number of dice you roll is higher than the target's hit points, that person goes to sleep. There's different cases. If there's more than one person in the area, it'll go from the lowest health person to the highest health. But this is a case where Sabrina's just going to try to make this person go to sleep immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be casting this at a higher level, so I get extra dice.
Nice.
30.
Dear Lord. Holy shit. That's much higher than I was expecting. Okay, so the guy in the mascot costume is coming down the corridor in the other direction. He has a big executioner's axe, and he sees you as you come out of the darkness, because both of you, neither of you have great vision down here. You failed your perception check, and he's in a mascot costume, so the visibility is not great. And as soon as the 2 groups see each other, describe what you do. Sabrina.
Sabrina's gonna hop up on the little saddle she's on and throw her hands forward and cast sleep. And then she's gonna flick her fingers like wah wah. And
I'm sorry, what was that?
wah. That's the sound the sleep waves make. Wah.
All right, you're committed to that for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Every time you want to use sleep.
Every spell is gonna have that sound.
All right, the person. The person in the mascot costume pitches forward and lands face first on the ground. They just crumple and just slam. Their head bounces off the ground and they fucking smash their face, and the axe goes flying, and they're out cold on the ground in front of you.
All right, let's get going.
Somebody take the axe.
Solve that problem.
As the party sort of approaches, Vindrass is gonna kneel down and just cast mending on the costume, because there's been just like a little tear in the back that's been bugging her all day.
So this is the second combat scenario I've thrown at the party, and once again, you just refuse to fight. I love it, but it's very funny.
I feel like somebody should take the axe, but it can't be me.
Can
I can lift it.
Can I take the helmet off? Because it's like a mascot costume, so there's like a headpiece separated from the body.
Yeah, you can.
I want to take that part off. I want to see who's underneath it, and then I want to keep the big clam costume thing for myself.
It's like Scooby-Doo.
Okay, the person in the costume is a species so stupid, I'm gonna have to send you an image because you're not gonna believe me if I just...
Like, you planned it this way?
I know, this is a character I had planned for later, but they're showing up now.
Ooh, woo, I'm excited.
Ooh, I'm excited. Everybody do baby voice. Austin hates
I'm
it.
excited, whited.
Austin Worski, he hates it.
I'm in hell.
Oh, he's a hell.
Don't do this to me, Lauren.
Oh, don't do this to me.
Oh, it's Sauron from the X-Men video franchise.
No, it's
Pterodactyl man.
What?
It's one of the two guys from the first boss encounter in Super Metroid. I can't remember their names.
Ridley.
But
You're saying Ridley.
No, I'm not. There's the flying guy, and then I was thinking Castlevania Symphony of the Night. You got the flying guy and the ground-based guy. And he's the ground-based guy.
He's a beefy man with a pterodactyl head.
This is insane. This is clearly the character from the I Want to Turn People into Dinosaurs meme. That's clearly who that is, which I believe was Sauron from Marvel.
It has like abs that go all the way down to its crotch.
As we all do.
That's just peak male form.
Its tail looks like a fucking elephant ear plant. They're great plants, but not for this guy.
This is peak performance. I'm sorry.
It's not. Shut up. Get out of here.
Okay, so this creature is called a Terran. Pterran.
Of course.
Oh,
Yep.
Terran.
Yep.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because
Gotcha.
it's a,
Yep.
like a pterodactyl.
Thanks, Gary.
I don't know if Gary worked on Dark Sun. I feel like we blame
This
him
is
a
all
lot.
Gary's fault.
It's all his fault.
Okay, Gary laid the groundwork for
If
whoever
not for
did
Gary,
this.
none of this would have had to happen.
Yeah, well, yeah. So much of like Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Second Edition is a direct response to bad Gary Gygax's design. He's just as much to blame for this.
His torso looks like a scary smiley face.
Don't put that evil
Two
out
eyes,
in the world.
There's a nose.
Don't do
and
this.
then the crotch abs are like a big smile.
Don't say crotch abs.
crotch abs.
Well, the face has a little bit like it. I mean, it is pterodactyl inspired, but looking at it makes me think of what Gina Davis does in Beetlejuice.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a little more curved at the snout, and you got the
Okay, it's a pterodactyl man. No wings, but it's a humanoid pterodactyl, weirdly buff, and its head is strangely shaped, but that's why it fit in the abalone costume. Abalone, of course, we mentioned last week, are giant shellfish. Not giant, shellfish.
Do I know this person?
No, you do not.
That's weird. They shouldn't be in the castle in the costume then. I am confiscating it as a direct result of
Okay.
that.
Okay, so to be clear, you leave this person naked and unconscious in the hallway.
I'm just taking the helmet. I don't care about the rest.
Do they have a wallet?
No, this is the post-apocalypse. People don't have wallets.
Do they have fun things in their pockets that I can steal?
Is it a front wallet or a back wallet?
Okay, Vindrass is gonna try and take the axe, not necessarily to use, just so that if he wakes up, he doesn't know where it is.
Lola just really likes stealing things.
Last episode, Vindrass, we discussed your melee weapon. You mentioned a mace because that's the
yes.
default for clerics, and I tried to get you to make a switch or a...
Yeah, I wasn't sure what else to go with. I guess, could this be a thing I could wield?
Yeah, sure. You can still use mace stats, but we could say
Yeah.
let's have it like be abalone themed or something.
Oh, okay.
What if it's made of do abalones have, is it nacre? N-A-C-R-E? It's the shiny stuff on the inside.
Yeah, they're real shiny.
Yeah, man. Mother of pearl axe. Boom.
So yeah, they're like opalescent.
Yeah, okay.
cool.
It's an opalescent axe then.
Well, you always just treat the flat end like like a mace. So
Yeah, the axe baloney.
Don't say axe baloney. That's nothing.
Axe baloney.
Let's say actually, Vindrass, it's +1 because we're gonna replace your starting mace, which I feel like didn't
Hooray!
have that much personality, and now this is like a cool, unique thing you have.
I hope that you. I don't know why I was going to say. I hope you don't mind. I'm doing it anyway. It is called Axe Baloney on my chart now.
Yes.
Yeah, when this shows up 3 seasons from now as like a legendary weapon, it'll be like, oh yes, the fabled axe baloney, and then we'll realize we've gone too far.
I just think it's very fun that we now have the axe baloney and the heck bow together.
What's the season going to be like 3 seasons from now, Austin?
I can't keep making promises. I can't because they keep trying to hold me to them.
Are you sure? We've done it every time. Every time we've nailed it.
I feel like as long as we keep bullying you and telling the fans there's going to be more seasons, you won't. It's like a curse.
Yeah, I can't escape the show. All right, so we have to get out of this stadium because we're 40 minutes into the recording, but you have defeated the guard here. It's the executioner wasn't the only security personnel, but you succeeded on the survival roll, so this is all you ran into. This was the consequence for Khorton's botch.
Cool. All right, well, let's get going then.
All right, so the party walks down the rest of the way out of the corridor into an employee's entrance, or I guess like where the athletes would enter the building, which isn't as well guarded as like the front entrance where people naturally would enter. And you all open the door and emerge, blinking into the sunlight.
I'm going to put on a straw hat.
Wait, hold on. You can't just have a bag of holding for fashion.
I feel like as a farmer podunk lady, it's standard issue to have overalls and a straw hat. And then a piece of straw I can pull out of the hat so it's in the corner of my mouth so I look really cool.
No, I'm very into this outfit. I feel like you should establish it very firmly because I didn't have that image last episode.
Now I have overalls and a straw hat and nobody can stop me.
This is the problem, Austin. We need a minute to learn who our characters are to then decide the optimal fashions.
Hey, don't tell me. Tell the artists, all right? They're the ones who are already working on their designs, and now they're hearing about these hats.
They've already got some wonderful art.
Who doesn't love a straw hat?
Okay,
Yeah.
so as you walk out of the stadium, you see the Avalon salt flat ahead of you. And it's... how many of you are very familiar with salt flats?
You know none of us are.
I am an expert.
I'm somewhat familiar.
Oh. Okay.
I'm a salt flat statologist. So
Chris,
I actually probably know more than you.
I've visited the ones in Utah.
In fact, I should ask you questions.
Yeah, you should. This
Why
is a
is
good
your
use of
face
our
so
time. No, I
stupid?
love this.
Austin, tell us about the salt flats.
They're salty.
The thing I want to establish is that this is not a desert. It's not brutally hot out here during the day, nor brutally cold at night like the desert is. This used to be an ocean. There is still some water here and there in lower elevation places. You see like formations, like something that maybe used to be like a coral reef where it's all dried out now, but it still visibly evokes the ocean floor. There's like deposits of what would be like fossilized fish remains or the whatever, you know.
Steinkerns. I was thinking about Steinkerns. That's when you find it's a fossil of what the inside of a shell was, but the shell's gone.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know things.
So it's like that. People have asked like, oh, you should do an underwater season. And to me, that's always just like, so it's a regular season, but every once in a while we mention that it's wet. Like there's not much to actually add. This is the closest I think we're going to get because you're standing at what used to be the bottom of an ocean floor. And now because of the apocalyptic event that changed the universe, it is mostly salt flats out here. An interesting thing is if the light is correct, if the angle is right on the rays, the ground reflects the sky. This is one of the things that I send you all images of this where like at the right time of day, the ground and the sky look exactly the same. If you're walking in it, it just seems like you're in a void.
I mean, I would happily live in this picture.
It's gorgeous. And that's the thing I want to stress right now is that this isn't like a bleak Dark Sun hellscape, the way that game was written. This is in many ways a kind of beautiful, optimistic version of post-apocalypse. Fun fact, they originally, when they were kind of brainstorming for Dark Sun, they were going to do an Arctic post-apocalypse, but then they realized everyone would have to be bundled up, and it would be hard to do like female fan service. So they decided to make they decided to make it desert so that everyone could be skimpily clad.
Why?
You know why.
I know, but I hate it.
The same reason all the illustrations of succubi had their tits fully out for like 20 years.
That's a mood, though.
That is a mood. All right, so what do you all say to each other as you exit the stadium and you see this beautiful expanse rolling off to the horizon?
I'm just gonna point. I don't know which direction. It doesn't matter. I'm saying that's where I found Stuart. This is the whole thing.
The ranger just doesn't understand the difference between like north and east and west.
I understand porcupines.
I'm more of a vibes ranger. Just kind of ranger out the vibes, you know?
Yeah, if I feel like there might be an animal nearby, that's the direction I go.
Do you know what direction it is to the nearest settlement?
No. No. I don't think so.
What about you, wolf child?
Wolf child. Isn't that an anime?
What is it? Wolf's Rain? No,
I think
an anime.
Wolf Child is also an anime.
Okay.
Probably.
I would believe it.
Wolf
Yeah.
children.
Wolf Children, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cool, little, band name of a child, child band.
So I guess I have to ask you also, do I know where the nearest settlement is?
So yeah, this is an interesting question. I was gonna have you all roll nature to triangulate your position, but if you have any thing you want to add about Sabrina's characterization, because I feel like the answer is she's been very sheltered from the outside world and has no motherfucking clue where she is.
That's why Khorton didn't ask her.
Yes, that's probably the case. I believe she's likely thought she's heard of it, though. She is very confidently going to start going in a direction, be like, it's that way. I can feel the adventure calling to me.
See, the problem is Vindrass asked because she was afraid not to ask the wolf girl first because, I'm in charge of the adventure. She's quietly hoping that, she'd say no so it could be like, okay, we don't have to follow the child.
Let's roll nature, everybody.
11.
16.
We'll look at the ground and be like, that weighs more salt.
18.
20.
Everybody but the ranger passed.
I'm too busy petting Stuart.
So because the party passed, I actually want to give Sabrina's confidence some basis here. So she starts walking. I want to say specifically that Sabrina, you know that the Colosseum is at the edge of the God King's domain, like basically where the ocean. Because if you think of this as a former ocean, right, it's like a huge basin. And so if you go to the edge, you'll just meet like a huge wall that you can't really climb out of.
Oh my god. It's like when I used to give Spike baths and he would try to climb out of the tub. Not the tub, the sink, and he was too little. He couldn't climb out of the sink.
Uh-huh. Oh my god, that's exactly what's happening. Okay, so Avalon used to be an ocean, and now it's a giant bowl, and you're all a hedgehog stuck in the bowl.
They hate baths. They don't love it. They don't like it. But they're too little.
So I think, Sabrina, you look all around you and you see in one direction something on the horizon, which you understand is like the edge of the ocean rising up. And you're like, I can't go in that direction. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's the edge of the world. Like, there isn't anything past there unless you can fly.
Yeah. That's not where adventure is calling me.
No. So you turn around and go in the opposite direction, which you don't know is east, but which is east.
Okay, cool.
And you just start walking confidently, and everyone else just looks at you, sees something on your face, which makes you think that this is good enough, and everyone just starts following behind you.
Is there enough room for 2 on my saddle? I want to ride Stuart.
Well, Stuart's the size of a pony, and ponies are actually pretty small, so I do want to rule now that Stuart's
Okay.
only a one-rider kind of animal, mostly.
I figured, but it's like, well...
Sabrina's actually going to be walking at this point.
Ha
She finally now has the chance to feel the salt beneath her toes, which is probably not great. Salt and ice don't generally mix. So I guess it's not very comfortable, is it?
So it's mostly just feels like walking on like sand, or
Walking on broken glass.
No, not that.
That's the best Annie Lennox song.
How could you possibly think that?
Because I listened to it a lot as a child. How dare you? It was my mom's
Here
favorite
comes
song.
the rain again.
My mom liked 2 songs.
Sisters are doing it for themselves.
Walking on Broken Glass and Achy Breaky Heart. And if you had to pick one of those as your favorite, you pick the first one.
Fair.
We can't start talking about music because I just got done listening to a podcast where Conrad and Laura couldn't name a single Franz Ferdinand song, and I was imagining Lauren losing her fucking mind.
You guys couldn't name a fucking single Franz Ferdinand song?
Got that one like...
You know Ulysses. You had to read it. How do you not remember Ulysses?
We had that problem where we were confusing like 4 different bands and being like, which one of them did that song?
That Take Me Out. That's them, right?
Yes.
I know one. That's the one I know.
I love Franz Ferdinand. They're
Lauren's the
my
number
favorite.
1 Franz Ferdinand defender. She's logged on.
I am on. Okay.
I forgot we were talking about. Oh, walking across the salt. Okay, so it mostly feels just
Walking
like
across the salt is not like walking on broken glass.
I'm gonna kill all of you. You're not gonna find your
walking on the
bodies.
sun.
I know it's. I'm gonna melt your corpse.
Just loop the conversation.
It mostly feels like sand, except sometimes you step on something and like the ground cracks and breaks beneath your foot, and you like stomp down into like some actual like organic matter. Like maybe it used to be a mound of seaweed, and it mostly like rotted and withered away, and then was covered by like a salt storm, and then it was just sitting there, and you just stepped right through it into like ankle deep salty seaweed gunk water.
Gross.
And so this place looks like a placid desert, but underneath the first layer of salt, there's actually a lot going on out here. And
Huh. Is that like a metaphor?
Fucking roasted.
that doesn't sound like
Are
me at
you
all.
painting me a word picture, Mr. Austin Yorsky?
Fuck you.
What was that voice? Fuck you.
I want
Woo.
to gather up a handful of salt.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to crunch it into a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to throw this salt ball at the hunky dude.
Okay, yes. Follow this
Vin-
train of thought.
Vindrass is going to attempt to leap and sort of as if trying to protect from a bullet.
Yes, roll acrobatics.
Oh my god.
Okay.
This is great.
I need a crit on this. Oh, that's a botch.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yes! Yes! How can this go wrong? How can I fuck you? Okay.
Can she be screaming no while it happens and just gets a mouthful of salt snowball?
I mean, that is good. I was going much crueler. I was imagining
Okay.
like she dives in front of it and just overshoots it completely, goes like 10 feet past because she has powerful mantis legs, lands on a stretch of salt and just crashes through it into what is actually like underneath the first layer of salt is like a decayed narwhal corpse. And she just impales herself on its tusk.
What's wrong with you, dude?
If you want to
What
go,
did Laura ever do to you?
if you want to go that serious, Vindrass will carefully pull herself out of this gross, painful mess and start applying cure wounds and mending and like, okay, let's clean
Khorton is
myself.
immediately
Clean myself
there
up.
to help pull her out.
Aw.
Yeah, so first things first, I'm going to roll damage. This is sword damage, so that's 6. It doesn't go very deep into your armor, even though I did roll max damage on that. Normally, this would be like something that could be potentially fatal if you weren't wearing heavy armor and also an exoskeletal bug person. So like pierces partway into your armor, into your body, and then Khorton runs over and pulls you off. And then you want to heal? You want to roll for healing?
Yeah, possibly just roll hit dice for heal and cast mending to fix up the armor.
I'm trying to teach the white wolf how to play a jug like an instrument.
Well, okay, that is. Hold on there, Lola. Do you perhaps want to give Sabrina a chance to react to
Wow.
the fact what she just started something?
Read the room.
No, jug band time.
Okay, so you're walking across the salt flat. Sabrina, you playfully pick up some salt and you go to throw it at Khorton, and fucking Vindrass launches herself into a fucking skeleton.
Can Vindrass at least have gotten in the way of the salt snowball on the way through this?
Yes, I think that's even better, because then it's like your devotion's so powerful you're willing to impale yourself even for no benefit, just for the possibility of helping.
Yeah. Sorry. I didn't see what it was, but something was coming for you. I just had to.
This
Just make
isn't
sure
your
you're
fault,
alright.
child. It's fine. It's fine. And Khorton looks at the white wolf and just sort of narrows his eyes a little bit.
It was just salt.
No, I understand. You have to forgive Vindrass. She is very protective.
I treat every threat as if it is fatal. Gotta have your eyes open.
Oh my gosh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just want to make sure he's alright.
It looks like you're bleeding.
It's fine. I patched up the armor. I'm all good. I'm all good.
I'm gonna go back to walking now. I don't want to play snowballs anymore.
In scheduled playtime, we can play all you like. It's fine.
Oh,
I'm not a child.
Okay. Sorry. When it is time for the salt ball war, give me heads up.
When the true war happens, you won't have the time to be alerted.
Oh my god.
It will strike when you least expect.
Sabrina, did you just say that ominous shit and start walking?
Yeah. I should note she's not trying to be evil when she says it. She's just kind of trying to make it sound cool.
That's fair. Vindrass did hear it like a threat and was like, "Oh no, I'll fight you, child."
can I roll performance to pull out a harmonica and play Home on the Range?
Do you have a harmonica? Why do you think you have every item?
I just like saying I have things because you get so upset.
There has to be rules, Lauren. This can't just be a free-for-all.
Did you have a thing in your backstory where you went to the harmonica school? No.
See, what I'm gonna do now is between today and next week, I'm gonna go buy a harmonica and then I'm gonna play it, and he can't stop me.
Okay, Sabrina, you start walking again. Do you guys have any checks you want to make to narrow down your direction? Because you're going generally in the right way, but right now would be a great time to avoid an upcoming threat or complication if you want to do so.
Can we do investigation?
Sure.
God damn it! I'm so bad at that.
Oops.
I crit! I got a 21! I'm the best!
Sabrina really is killing it.
Yeah.
16. I did all right. Did pretty good.
21.
Oh my god.
I'm
Okay.
the worst at everything.
Austin, we're
Only
there.
when it doesn't matter.
Austin, we're there.
Yeah, okay.
Austin, we're there. We made it.
Shut up. I will fight you. All right. So you're leading the way, Sabrina, and most of this salt flat is pretty featureless. You can see like shapes on the horizon, but you can't really tell like how far away anything is. I think you've read from your books that it's very common to find things that don't seem like they belong in the landscape, things that seem like they're from different time periods or different technology levels. Out of character, we all know the apocalyptic event that happened was like all of reality crashing into each other to make one new reality. So you have no idea what you could run into out here.
Yeah. A gamer had a real bad day.
What you see that narrows this down because of your crit is you see a vein of pink salt ahead of you.
Ooh, that's the good shit.
Ah, we're heading to the Himalayas.
Yeah, I have some in my fucking cupboard right now.
Did you enjoy spending $8 on it?
Well,
You shoplifted it, didn't you? That's why your head's That's why your head's
that
didn't
is
say
not
anything.
how I got the saffron in my cupboard as well. I'm reformed now. I got caught. I don't do crimes anymore. At least not those crimes.
Wow, you just got fucking owned, dude.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like it's really cool. Like,
It
look
is.
at Lauren. She does crimes. She does cool crimes.
Stealing Himalayan salt is actually, there is a list. That is the #1 cool crime you can do. So
Thank you, Chris.
Everyone says be gay, do crimes until someone does a crime, and then all suddenly, oh, we didn't actually mean do
Now
crimes.
we care about the crimes.
Okay, so you see this vein of pink salt on the ground ahead of you, and this seems like deeper it has like a more powerful aura. You can tell immediately. Like all the regular salt around you is like fragile, and you know there are just things just below the surface. But this, Sabrina, I mean, because of your background, I'm just gonna say out loud that you know this. Your father asserted influence on this salt, which is why it's like this.
Ah. But that would mean it's the correct way to go. Following that.
Although you immediately got called out for being a royal, but no one really knows what your quest is. So I guess you still have some element of your mystery.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's start a chick band.
No, Lauren, you started the episode by like, oh, your character's built around a mystery? Anyway, I solved it. Shut up.
I'm very bad.
So I know you're Nata, but who are the other two?
My name's Lola. This here Stuart. We're the Beanses.
More formal introduction. I'm Vindrass. I used a nonsense name because I thought that's what we were doing with the whole White Wolf thing. I thought we were just making names up.
Do you think White Wolf sounds stupid?
No, not stupid. It seemed like a name you had come up with, and I came up with one myself. I thought it was a game we were playing.
So do you think the name the White Wolf sounds cool? She's giving you the saddest eyes. She's ever had.
Vindrass is suddenly overcome with, oh no, I have to protect this tiny child. It's just like, yes, White Wolf is the coolest name I've ever heard. I came up with a fake name because I was jealous of you.
Yes! I am the coolest. And who's this weird guy?
Weird guy? This child does not know of what they speak.
I'm Brother Khorton. And he just sort of like reflexively flexes his muscles to, you know, like not realizing even that he's doing it. It's just how he introduces himself to people. He can't help himself. It is a child. He knows that. He's not trying.
Vindrass instinctively has sort of like jazz handsed in his direction, like, ta-da!
Why don't you wear a shirt?
Yeah, why no shirt?
Would you?
I'm literally wearing a shirt.
Yes, but like this? And he just gestures at his own torso.
You don't get a tan like that wearing a shirt.
Well, I can't argue with that logic.
Whose brother are you?
I'm a brother to everyone who feels love in their hearts.
Oh, so you're like a weirdo.
So after Khorton is weird and you turn to go to leave, you know up ahead of you is where you're going, and you see that the vein of pink salt leads to a building actually up ahead of you. And do you want to indicate this to everyone else to show off your accomplishment while they were being weird?
I'm going to proudly put my fists against like my hips, like doing like the Superman pose, and then point in the direction and be like, "Your leader found civilization. The White Wolf strikes again, hunts alone, but succeeds as many."
I mean, she didn't really go alone.
I found the thing by myself.
No. Congratulations. I am impressed.
Thank you.
I have just had a thought. White Wolf.
Yes.
How
She's very excited to be called by that name.
How prepared are you for your adventure? Because it seemed like you decided maybe to leave on a bit of a impulse. How do I put this? Have you brought food and water, or are we going to have to look after you?
I brought everything I need. I have a knife and my magic. And that's all I'd need.
None of that nice royal money or anything?
I don't really carry money on me.
That's good. You're likely to have it robbed off you very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may need to find some resources then.
What's this building, though?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. So you bring up the fact that you're not prepared for this journey, and but now you're close enough to see the building Sabrina has found for you. It is a relatively small, shabby building. There is a sign outside which has been actually dismantled mostly. It's like fallen over. Someone like took the metal poles that were keeping it up for scrap, and now it's just laying on the wooden parts, just laying on the ground. And you see on the sign it says in faded letters, "Wormwood Library."
Ooh, books. Maybe.
I like books. She's gonna run inside.
Do you think they have shoujo beat like my public library did? Probably not.
That sent you down a dark path. Honestly, that library was a bad influence.
I loved that library. I read so many manga.
Was that the one in Bonita Springs?
Oh yes.
I got kicked out of that library.
I remember that. That's right. Fucking idiot.
Being too much of a wiener.
No, he was a little fucking delinquent.
What, do you want to narc
You got
on
us
me?
kicked out of. Didn't you get us kicked out of Barnes and Noble too? Because you and a couple of I was trying to peacefully read manga with my other weeb friends, and then like 3 of you were just like throwing things.
They were busy looking at like picture books of salt marshes and just talking to. They're like, check out these idiots. They barely know anything about salt marshes.
That also happened at Party City in the same mall.
Yeah, the Party City was that was when I almost beat that guy up. No, the library was something else. If you don't remember, I'm not going to incriminate myself.
Okay, I don't remember honestly, but actually I can guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you fingering another girl?
Yes.
You said it so much more bluntly than I was, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not allowed in many places in Florida.
How many places have you gotten kicked out of for fingering?
Yeah, how many girls have you fingered in Florida?
Using your fingers to count. How many places have you kicked out of? Using your filthy fingers.
Can this just be the whole show now of fucking roasting Austin?
Sure, the audience loves it. Go ahead.
They do love it. Why do they love it? What did you do to them?
I don't know how I'm supposed to come back from this.
Episode over.
What's in that library, Austin?
Okay, so first, why don't you roll a dexterity saving throw as you run ahead, Sabrina?
It sounds good. I rolled a 20.
Very good.
Oh.
So you run up, you grab the handle, you turn it, and you push the door in, and it flies off the hinges because the wood is rotted. But because you rolled a 20, you do not go ass over tea kettle and land in some sharp broken glass. Instead, the door just kind of flies ahead of you and into the dark library.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna find some books now. I want to go straight to that fiction section, straight to where all them good books are.
Yep, Sabrina, you run into the library and all the shelves are bare. I'm going to need some kind of check because it does not seem there are any books here in this old library.
I want investigation with advantage because I love books.
Just because you love something doesn't mean it's easy to find. Let me tell you, I looked for a ferret recently.
What are we rolling investigation?
I rolled a 7.
I have bad that. Crit!
Damn it.
Crit! My little gecko nose snoofing it out.
Mm-hmm.
I botched. We're really going to the extremes on the rolls tonight.
What is going on today?
Yet another one of these conundrums. Okay, so the party passes, so you're going to find something interesting, and we have a botch here, which is going to make an interesting complication. So, Sabrina, you run ahead trying to find books. You didn't crit, so you're not going to be the one who finds the thing. I'm sorry, but you're helping.
I'm helping.
You're helping. Lola, you also run ahead. What do you do that gets you what you're looking for? What special sauce do you bring to this?
You jump to the top shelf and start kicking things over.
Oh no, I was like, I want to get down on the ground like a regular gecko and start snoofing. And I assume Stuart would help also with his nose. So we're just snoofing. We're snoofing about.
When you say snoofing, for the audience, does that mean like flicking your little tongue out so you can taste the air?
Yes. Yes, it does. Stuart doesn't do that. He just uses his snout, but
He just does the little nose twitches.
yeah, we're just smelling it out.
Okay, so the party begins ransacking the library, or at least looking through its now ransacked existence, because paper is very rare and valuable in the post-apocalypse. You can start fires with it. It has invaluable information that has been lost. So whoever got here first, or more likely the several groups of people who got here first, stripped it for parts. It's not going to be a repository of information that you can really rely on. But there is something here Lola finds that has fallen between the cracks in the floor, and it is a map.
Ah!
So now you
Yeah.
get the map.
I have the map.
For the audience, I'll be
Maybe-
posting this on patreon.com/AustinYorks if you want to see it. It's very basic. I didn't do any artistry. It's just a square or a rectangle, I
Ooh,
guess.
I want to go to the gore fields. Let's go to the gore fields right now.
No, there's someone
I
in the
think
room
I- I
judging
think-
my map.
I think I know where my destination is. It's the gore fields.
I initially
It's
misread
friendly
one.
blue.
I misread one of these locations as the Absinthe Resort and Bar, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a fun time."
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is.
Ooh, a resort and spa. Let's go get a mud bath.
So the audience doesn't need to look at this if you don't want to. The important thing is in the far west is the God King's Colosseum, which you left. Next, you went to the library next door. And then there are a bunch of different locations to the east you could explore. But between you and them is something called the Glass Forest, which does not seem particularly inviting. And it seems like it's going to be a big barrier to the places you can investigate further east.
Do any of us in character know what the Glass Forest is? Is this like a very well-known local
Roll history.
artifact?
Do I get advantage because that's where I found Stuart?
You get disadvantage for your sassy mouth.
No, I'm not gonna do disadvantage.
14.
You can't just say that to me.
15.
That's so
The
funny.
dice are with you today, Austin.
I also botched.
2 botches?
A 14, a 15, and 2 botches.
What the fuck?
The map's just gone now, right?
This is a very botchy night.
The map's just gone now, right?
No,
Two
no,
botches,
no.
like we fall through the map or something.
No, so I like this. Here's what happens. Okay, you find this map. Lola picks it up, looks at it, and sees the Glass Forest, which I think you just offered. That's where you found Stuart.
Yeah.
That's so you've been in the Glass Forest before, and with a botch, you immediately tell the others like, "Oh, we can't go that way. That way is death. I heard things in that forest. The God King has people patrolling it. They caught me. That's just a no go." And I think with your also botch, Khorton, you're like, "Yeah, I've heard stories about that place. We can't go there. That's game over." Which is going to be a big problem for Sabrina Wolfram, who absolutely needs to get through the Glass Forest to continue her quest. So
Well,
we're gonna.
hypothetically, what we could do is, if you look at this map, you can see that the line of the Glass Forest doesn't stretch to the bottom, so we could go all the way to the bottom and then just
Go
cut
around it.
right to the gore fields. It's a straight
Yeah, right
shot
to the
after
Garfield.
that.
Yeah. So for the people not seeing the map, it looks like maybe you could take a long way around, but you know that distance with no food or water is just suicide.
Oh no, maybe.
We could go over the top, which is much closer.
It does sound like going through something called the Glass Forest is equally suicide.
That's the problem now. So we're going to need a conversation where Sabrina convinces the rest of them to go through with what they think is very bad, because otherwise her journey ends here. In episode 2, nice season. We did a great job, everyone.
Well, we have to just go through the Glass Forest.
No. It's too hot out there, and by hot I mean there's a lot of guards.
I've heard stories about the dangers in the Glass Forest. The God King people are everywhere.
There's some eerie whispers. I don't know what that's about.
I think I'm going to add a little bit of flavor here. I think you specifically know, or Khorton, you've heard stories that there's a great demon that stalks the forest as well. So even if the guards don't get you, there's some kind of giant demon who lives in the forest who will gobble you up as well. So that's your perspective.
And then there's the thing that's stalking in the night.
Oh, the thing. Yeah.
So we could just beat the thing and just keep going. And the gods don't matter to me. I can just tell them to go away.
If there were more of us, I would feel better about it, but...
Also, like, if you're telling us we should go through the Glass Forest, can you at least tell us why we're going through there? Like, what incentive is there for us to go to the place where all of the guards and everything is?
Well, I'm looking for something. And it's got to be over there.
What you looking for?
Doesn't matter. It's personal.
I do understand the concept of privacy and personal knowledge, but also You are asking us to go to the glass forest, which I specifically just said I'm not here for. Stuart and I won't do it again.
And the thing is there.
And the thing!
No, we will all go through the forest. That's final, as your leader.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but I am an adult and you cannot tell me what to do.
If you don't go, I'll go to the glass forest, and when the guards find me, I'll tell them that you all kidnapped me, and then you'll be put to death.
Okay, well,
She's good.
She?
I mean, she's effective.
I will remember this later, little lady.
Excellent. Then off we go.
She's a little shit, right?
She's such a little brat. I guess that's what happens when you're royalty. I don't know.
We'll follow her for now. And should the opportunity come when it's her or us, it will be her.
No, I'm not letting anyone kill a child in front of me. Hold on.
I'm just, maybe...
Did I walk off? Or did that conversation happen in front of me?
This is happening to one side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to necessarily abandon this child, but, if there's only so many spell slots to purify food and drink, maybe her food and drink stays a little bit gross.
I mean, okay, so this is what we're establishing, is the party's going to continue on the quest, but basically under blackmail.
Yes.
Yeah. Looking for an
Emotional
opportunity. Looking for an opportunity to get out.
Bullied by a tiny princess.
Hold me closer, tiny princess.
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Okay, Vindrass.
Me? Yes? Hello?
You thought I forgot you botched, huh?
I was hoping.
Yeah, no, dog, I remembered. The North remembers.
Okay.
Oh, shit, I love that reference.
Dexterity? That's nothing.
Dexterity. Boom, episode title, Dexterity check.
Dexterity check.
Short.
Why would I even leave that in?
Oh no, I botched the dexterity check!
Oh my god! What is happening?
Someone screen cap this. 3 botches in a row. We got 2 map botches and now this botch.
What's even happening?
This is the universe punishing us for continuing to make content right now.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys are all huddling up talking about Sabrina. You're like, all right, listen, we'll go with her for now, and when we find an opportunity to get rid of her or escape her blackmail, we'll take it. And then you're all like, all right, break huddle on 3. 1, 2, 3, break.
I did not say that.
You know what I mean, though. Come on.
I'm not gonna leave her behind. I'm just gonna be very annoyed.
Well, that can mean when, it's safe to leave her behind.
Okay,
It doesn't have
okay,
to
okay.
mean...
The way Austin said it made it sound bad.
Well, that may be how it goes down, but just, you can rationalize it that way.
That's not my intention. What is it? The road to hell's paved with good intentions.
Actually, Khorton, is there something you would want to do here in this library so I can narratively justify Vindrass getting owned?
Yeah, he's probably going to see if he can find just anything that might be useful for the journey ahead. So he's scavenging.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you start looking around for food and water. Vindrass, you suddenly feel a terribly sharp pain in your feet, through both feet, actually, because you botched. So you look down and you are sprayed by your own blood coming up through your feet.
Well,
Oh no, that's real bad.
And there's something piercing through both of your feet. And then there is everyone else, you hear a thump noise, and you turn and Vindrass is gone.
Oh no. I don't like this.
Yeah, also, this is a complete coincidence, but Vindrass keeps getting her ass whooped.
she does.
Yeah, well, she gets her ass whooped so no one else has to. That's her role. She can patch herself up. She's fine.
Where's Vindrass?
I rolled damage for both your feet getting impaled through the floor. I actually really botched that roll, so you actually only take 1 damage, so maybe they just didn't hit anything in your carapace.
Yeah, no, they pierced through, but none of the actual blood vessels or anything were there.
Khorton suddenly looks panicked.
Can I would like to do a check. I'd like to, I'm investigating.
Yeah, there's blood on the ground. Medicine check.
Ooh. What about investigation?
You heard me.
Oh. Well, I got a 4.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been any better.
Did I find her?
I got an 8.
Oh no, bye Vindrass.
You could do it, Lola Beans.
No, I can't.
So that's a
I
4,
rolled a
an
3.
8, and a 3.
Do we get stabbed too?
Yeah, actually, I think the next person to get stabbed is the person who rolled the 3. So Lola.
No, Stuart's coming with me though.
So you take 2 damage. You didn't botch though. So you feel it's shooting pain through one of your feet. You look down and you see there's like a blade sticking up through the bottom of your foot through the top, and like blood sprays up, and then the blade gets sucked back down into the floor and is gone. You don't get pulled because you didn't botch.
It's like quicksand, but instead of all sand, it's swords.
What are you talking about?
There's a sword monster in the ground. It stabbed me in the foot, and then it went back in the ground.
Khorton starts just scanning the ground for any kind of movement.
Perception.
17.
That's very good. With 17, you start scanning the ground and you see these are wooden floorboards, and you see like between 2 of the floorboards is where the map fell, right? So you know that they're kind of old and gnarled. Some of them are rotted away. Some of them have been broken. So it's a pretty big mess here. And there's places where your eye can catch movement. It's almost like you see the boards expand or contract, or something roil through them, like a wave, right, that goes across the water, and you can see this movement like roll through the wood and keep going.
Is it tremors?
This is the JoJo season.
I was like, is it a tremor? I know they're not called that, but
What, the graboids?
yeah, I just like calling it, hey, it's the tremor.
Yeah.
Well, because Tremor is a way better name than the Graboids.
The idea that graboid sounds like something in Animal Crossing.
That's the joke, though. It's that it's a bad name.
Yeah, but also
You're a
sure,
joke.
yeah.
I'm willing to die on the Tremors is good hill. I'm sorry. That's just how this is going to go.
Oh, I'm not insulting you. I just wanted to say it was a tremor.
But Khorton, you know something's in the wood, basically.
Wood tremor.
All right, so he's going to try and point and trace with his finger as it moves, or where he sees motion, to point it out to the others.
I would like to climb up. This is like a library, right? So there's got to be like a checkout counter.
Yep.
I want to jump up on top of the checkout counter so I'm not standing on the floor.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna shoot some ice. I'm gonna shoot a ray at Frost.
All right,
Over
so
there.
attack with disadvantage.
All right, so I'm gonna make a ranged spell attack with disadvantage.
Oh my
Austin's
god.
a big stinky baby.
Audience, they're going to fight me every step of the way. I apologize.
You know you love it.
And so do they.
Yeah. Once again, everybody, we record the credits soon. If you wanna
I rolled an 11.
bother Austin, talk about his pussy.
No. Why would you do this in the middle of it so I can't cut it out?
That's why I would do that.
Every person should just message in like, I'm so and so conduit of Austin figuring into Wendy's, Austin figuring in the on the roller
Epcot.
coaster at the football
Bonita
store.
Springs Public Library.
Did you say football store?
Yep, those exist.
Wait, what's a football store?
It's a store that only sells footballs.
No, is that like
Yep.
fuck? What's a sports store?
Sports Authority.
Sports Academy.
The Sports
Oh.
Authority.
Dicks.
I've never done a sport in my life.
Also, I don't think I've ever been kicked out of a Sports Authority. That's not usually their most romantic location.
Oh, but the library is that much sexier?
It can be. Learning can be
guess
very
when you-
erotic, Chris.
I guess when you have the right tunes playing. I rolled an 11.
What section was that in?
We can't keep going on this one. Okay, so an 11 actually hits. Roll damage.
Oh boy. All right, yeah. So it's just gonna be a single D8. Boop. 3 cold damage.
Not very much at all. In fact, it seems like you mostly just annoy whatever this is as the whole floor quakes and roils up to the desk because you're standing on top of the checkout desk in the library, and the floor moves like a wave towards you.
its speed is also reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn. So keep that in mind, Buster.
But whatever this animating force is moving through the floor actually begins crawling up the desk. And you see all around the edge of the desk, the wood creak and crack and begin taking a different shape. And it almost seems like the edge of the desk grows teeth and begins folding in half up towards you, Sabrina.
I would like to get off the desk.
Yeah, I bet you would, buddy.
Yeah, I would like to get off the desk now.
Lola, it's your turn.
I'm going to assume that Sabrina's in danger because desk mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna cast jump. I'm gonna slap her little paw. And then she's gonna have her jump distance tripled so she can escape the desk mouth.
Okay, yeah. So instead of rolling for this, we'll just say this works because triple is so much it doesn't really matter what you roll unless you botched. You can try if you want to get eaten, Sabrina. Do you want to roll?
No, you know what? I think I'm good. Because you know what this reminds me of? It's like when you take the marsupial serum in Fallout 76 and suddenly it's a whole new game. You can jump everywhere.
It's very funny that you think I still play Fallout 76 and know what any of this means.
You're a loss.
Okay, so as the desk folds in half upward and the edges of it grow teeth as if to just fold in and crush you in its newly growing maw, Lola just runs up and just like slaps you on the back.
Yeah. Smack.
As I'm jumping away, I want to give a big thumbs up.
Nice. Yeah, and the desk mouth crashes together with a terrible screeching and splintering of wood and just fucking shrapnel goes everywhere. And this thing begins pulling itself out of the floor. It seems like it's now the desk. Actually, someone roll not animal handling. You're the ranger. What's the stat for identifying creatures?
Nature.
God damn it.
Yeah, roll nature.
That's not the one I'm good at.
Too bad.
I know.
You're the ranger.
I'm not very wise. I'm smart. I'm not very smart. I have like a -2 to intelligence.
Oh no.
4.
Okay. Okay.
I botched.
Ta-da!
Oh my god!
Jesus.
Oh my
the
god.
fuck is
What is
happening
with the
today?
fucking rolls
Hold
tonight?
on. Can I check? Did Conrad... Okay, he has rolled things that haven't been botched.
Yeah, a
but-
couple.
Okay, so first of all, you all fail, so you have no idea what this thing is. But with a botch, I want to say you have an interestingly wrong opinion, Khorton. I think maybe you think the library is haunted, and this is like a ghost possessing things. That's the fun wrong opinion you have. And if you all want to be convinced of this and panic, that would be fun.
It's a ghost!
A ghost!
It's a ghost!
Ghost!
Is it a ghost or is it a ghoul? I don't know which one's which, but apparently
Well,
they're different. according
ghouls
to
are
Austin.
physical, like kind of shambling, corpsey type things. Not really like zombies, but just sort of like pale and sort of saggy things. And a ghost, a ghost could be anything. But usually they're, they can assume a physical form, but they don't all the time.
During all of this, is Vindrass still just gone?
Yeah, I was actually about to cut to you. So you got stabbed through the feet as this thing possessed the wood and blasted 2 blades up through your feet, and then the ground opened up and swallowed you. So you're actually under the floorboards right now, Vindrass. If they had succeeded on their medicine, they would have seen that like the blood is all going in through the specific crack in the boards instead of just seeing the splatters and being like, oh no.
A ghost.
And actually, where you're you're down here, you are very claustrophobic. The boards are like almost up against your face. And under you, you can feel a sea of bodies.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh no!
I don't like it.
All of the people who
bad.
came here before looking for books and food and water who were eaten by whatever it is that lives in this wood. And you know that once it's done killing your friends, it can come back and drain you at its will. But right now you're like pressed up against the floorboards like so much you can't like move your mouth to talk. And there's like just bodies all under you. You can feel their bones jutting out through their torn and ragged clothes.
Is there, at the very least, can I see the cracks in the floorboards above me?
Yeah. I think that's a good visual. It's just like the light making like slashes across your face and you looking up through it.
Okay, if, does this spell have it has a verbal component, so I'm gonna have to get DM discretion on whether I can get a word out of my mouth to do a spell.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get Vindrass to try and get her fingers to up into the cracks.
You know
of the
I'm into this. Come on, this is my
yeah.
thing.
I want Vindrass to finger that crack.
I
And,
mean, you get advantage. You immediately get advantage.
I want to cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay, interesting. Read the spell for the audience.
Yes. So a flash of light streaks towards a creature that I choose. I do a spell attack. If it hits, it does do some damage. And I get advantage on the next attack I do on that creature. Now, I don't know what it is that attacked me, so I probably can't attack the thing that attacked me.
Why would you try to talk yourself out of this? You're just giving me ammunition.
Yeah. I want to attack the thing that attacked me, but if I can't work out what that is, at the very least, I want to cast this bolt of light into the room to go like, hey, I'm here, everyone.
Okay, if this was anybody else, I would say that you're trapped against the floor from below and you can't move to do like somatic components, but you have 4 arms, and we've established that gives you some spell casting leniency. Yeah. So I want to say like the flavor is like you push up with your 2 strongest arms to give yourself like a couple inches of space that your smaller arms can like maneuver in there and do the hand signs.
Wonderful. So I think Vindrass is going to attempt to cast Guiding Bolt out of the cracks in the floor, in the hopes that they'll get whatever attacked her, but failing that, just make sure that they get into the room. That's a 19.
Yep, that definitely hits. Okay, so everyone else is facing the desk monster, which is what you failed your roll, so you don't actually know what it is. But this desk has grown teeth and tried to eat Sabrina. So you're facing this thing down, and suddenly a streak of light just flies across the room and slams into it. Roll damage.
20 damage.
Nice. And also it suddenly lights up because Guiding Bolt basically paints a target on it. So the next attack against it gets advantage. This is very interesting because I was thinking about like if it went back into the floor, maybe it'd lose you, but now it would just be glowing. So that's the next thing that happens. I think we're back to Khorton because the last thing you did was point. You pointed it out. That was your first action. So what do you do?
All right. So, well, now that we can see it, it's time to try and stab it, I guess. With my longsword. Mm-hmm. I rolled a 7.
You sure did. So you
get advantage though because of the guiding light.
Oh, that's true. Mm. I rolled an 11.
That's actually good enough.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
So damage. Okay. 4 damage.
Yeah, so even though you're extremely muscled, like you're more physically opposing than anyone else in the group, but your muscles are mostly for show.
Yeah.
So you only do 4 damage. Actually, you do 2 damage because your sword is not effective against the wooden material of this monster. So you just kind of rush forward and you plunge your sword into the part that's glowing from the guiding bolt. And the thing splits like even further wider open in now horizontally. Before it split upward to eat Sabrina, who's standing on top of it, now it's splitting from behind to like envelop you forward, if that makes sense. It keeps turning into mouths.
Mouths?
Mouths, yeah. Mouths.
Okay.
Lola. Nope. Sabrina.
Oh, I was ready.
Okay. I want to cast a spell, a very particular spell. Some might say a signature spell. I'm going to cast Ice Knife.
Okay.
Another great name for a band. So this is a 2 parts, but I'm going to create a shard of ice that basically is like a knife, and I'm going to toss it. And whether I hit or not, it's going to explode afterwards. So if they get hit by the first part, cool. But even if they don't, they could still potentially take damage from the second part of it. So I'm going to roll my attack first. 12.
Yep, that hits.
Okay, so they're going to take 10 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then they have to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid the shards of ice that will be shooting out. And they have to beat a 13.
That's a 6 minus 5 because it's not dexterous. It's not dexterous to be a giant desk. So that's a 1.
Well, then you are going to take 7 cold damage.
All right. Chris, paint me a word picture of you killing this desk with a giant, with a flying ice knife that explodes.
Well, I'm actually not done.
Oh, no.
So, as part of my particular sorcerer origin of the world bloodline, anytime I cast a spell first level or higher, I could use my bonus action to direct a companion. And one of the things I can direct them to do is to attack. So Sabrina is going to fire off her spell and then make a big dramatic motion and say to Khorton, attack! And he gets to kill it.
Oh man.
Fun.
I
Lola.
wanted to use my bow. I was gonna shoot it in the mouth. Which I guess doesn't mean anything because it's all mouth.
It's a lot of mouth.
It's a lot of mouth.
90% mouth.
So paint me this word picture, because is this a magic compelling? So when you say attack, does Khorton like glow with like the icy light and suddenly just like pull his sword up through the desk and like slice it or something?
I mean, it's sort of the idea of almost being given a royal order. So in a way, I would like to imagine her eyes glow, but Khorton's up to himself to kind of decide what he does.
Oh, well, in that case, he's going to attack. You've clearly got something going on, and he's desperate. So Khorton's going to identify a crack in the... he's going to shove right into one of the mouths. Shove that sword right in there.
Yeah, so Sabrina, you jumped like up into the air, right? You're like near the ceiling. You throw down this ice knife. It hits the thing in the mouth and explodes, exposing like cracking open the insides and exposing something inside the desk that is like squirming in there. And Khorton, you have an opening.
And Khorton's just going to take that longsword that he's got, and he's just going to shove it straight into that little crack with every bit of glorious, muscled, glistening power he has at his disposal.
If Vindrass was here, I feel like she'd be like squirting oil on him.
Oh my god.
She'd be squirting oil, yeah.
Stop. Nope. Vetoed. Hate it. The desk like topples over backwards trying to get away from Khorton's blade, but has been fatally wounded, and it almost like sloughs off the desk, like all the parts that were growing teeth kind of collapse to the ground, and out from the crack that your sword went in, something comes out from inside and begins trying to crawl away. This thing is almost humanoid. Imagine like a small like person-ish shape, but made from like the very soft pulpy material of it, like an inside of a tree. It's like the
it's like a paper monster.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting way to put it. There's kind of like a paper monster that it's almost like wet, right, with like pulp.
It's like if somebody did a paper mache and then didn't let it air dry all the way and then like gave it a soul.
So this like wet humanoid thing crawls out. It was part of the wood, and it was animating the wood around it the way that a fire elemental could like go into a raging inferno and wield it, or a water elemental could go into like a river and harness it. This thing found this rotted wooden library and is using it as a den to kill people who came to scavenge it. And now this thing, fatally wounded, is like trying to crawl away. What do?
I don't want to just like kill him, right? He didn't know. Maybe he knew.
Then let it slink away.
What if I pick it up and go, what do we do with this? I hold it like a baby. Like up in like the Lion King, up in the air like fucking...
I think it can't survive outside of living material. So, carbon is also what you're made of. So I think if you try to pick it up, it's going to try to be in you.
Can I shove it inside the clam mascot mask?
Oh, he can climb around.
Wait, I guess if it's made out of organic material.
It's made out of the shells.
No, you cannot spend this campaign with an animated mascot head as a party member.
Absolutely
Why not?
Fuck this season.
Why not? His name is Jeremy now.
Someone get Laura out of the floor.